This video, pretty much I'm just gonna be talking about Kevin Owens being right about Cody Rhodes, because this is a topic that I feel like I'm not just gonna talk about it because just for no reason, because I feel like this plays into Cody's character and how he's been acting lately. And obviously Kevin Owens, he had betrayed you know Cody Rhodes last year. He betrayed him at Bad Blood, after Bad Blood, and pretty much, and it was because he teamed with Roman Reigns. So, and I'm, like I said, I'm talking about this because I'm talking about why Kevin Owens is right about Cody Rhodes, not just to talk about it, but also because it kind of plays into how Cody has been acting lately, and where I think they could go from here, like with Cody's character, if they really want to, like, play this all out correctly. I mean, it just depends. But I'm going to talk about all of that, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Like, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, we're just going to pretty much talk right into this. So pretty much Kevin Owens, he had betrayed. Cody Rhodes after Bad Blood, and that was like a whole, it started a whole feud between them, and like people were expecting that Kevin Owens was gonna turn on Cody, and people were like, oh, it's gonna happen, because like Kevin Owens, you could tell, like, even before he had betrayed Cody, that you can tell he was already upset about him teaming with Roman. He was already like attacking him and like getting into fights with him, and like and Randy was the one was like being the peacemaker and trying to stop everything that was like happening. And it was like, it was just crazy. And so to me, like, Kevin Owens' heel turn, or what they were setting up as a heel turn, right? Like, that's the way they planned it. That's the way they had it played out on screen, was that Kevin Owens, he ended up being, he's the villain now because he betrayed, Cody Rhodes. And so to me, like, it's all like funny to me, because now you look back and it's just like, well, at least I do. And you see the way Cody's been acting lately, and you're starting to see even more where Kevin Owens is coming from. At least I do, because look, Kevin Owens, he betrayed Cody for teaming with Roman, which was justified. I mean, like, literally Roman Reigns and the Bloodline made Kevin Owens' life miserable. Like, they did everything to make this guy's life miserable. And like, they brutally assaulted this guy multiple times, costing him multiple title opportunities, and basically just even made Sammy like turn on Kevin Owens. And it's like he has every right to hate Roman and the Bloodline. He has every right. And so when you look at fucking Cody Rhodes like teaming with Roman Reigns, after all that Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes have been through with the Bloodline, and they did everything they can to stop them and take them out of power, and take the championships away from them. They did everything they can to stop all of this when it comes to the Bloodline, only for Cody Rhodes to team with the same person who he was just feuding with not that long ago at WrestleMania 40. And so now Cody wins the title for last year, and then all of a sudden months later Roman comes back and he teams with Roman Reigns. Like, that it was just like, why would you do that? And that, at least that's how Kevin Owens viewed it. Kevin Owens viewed it as a betrayal, because you're teaming with the guy that fucking ruined this guy's life, and you're like teaming with him now, and it's just like, what the fuck? That's how Kevin Owens viewed it. So it's understandable for Kevin Owens to betray Cody Rhodes because of that, because Cody Rhodes, he teamed with Roman Reigns. Like, why, if you're gonna do that at that point, like, Kevin Owens had every right to betray him. It's not like it came out of nowhere. And so Like Kevin Owens had helped Cody Rhodes with fight off the bloodline multiple times, Roman in the bloodline. And Kevin Owens was doing everything. He tried to help Cody win the title at WrestleMania 39. Kevin Owens was fighting through injuries to help take Roman and the bloodline out of power with Cody Rhodes. He was doing all of these things, all for what? For Cody to team up with the same guy months later? And so, yeah, it's like, to me, Kevin Owens was never the heel in this situation. I know that's how they were trying to portray it, because it was supposed to be like some big betrayal, right? And they would play these fake ass boos every time Kevin Owens, like half the time when Kevin Owens would walk into the arena, there would be these fake ass boos. So they were really trying to set up that narrative that he was the bad guy. But I mean, come on, man, like he wasn't really the bad guy in this whole situation with Cody Rhodes, because he did nothing wrong. Like, he had every right to betray him. And, really, the real villain here was Cody Rhodes for teaming with Roman to begin with. You know? Like, what Cody Rhodes did was really messed up. So, to me, I think, what's it called? What, like, Kevin Owens did to Cody was justified. And, like, because really, and, like, if this is supposed to be a heel turn, right, for Kevin Owens, what exactly did he do wrong, like, throughout this whole heel turn? When he had turned heel at Bad Blood, what exactly did he do that was so bad? That wasn't at least understandable or justified. Like, really, the only thing you could think of is maybe, like, oh, he power drives Randy Orton. Like, yeah, maybe he took it too far there. Like, I understand that. Kevin Owens was the one that elbowed Randy Orton first. But, but it's understandable from KO's perspective as well, because, like, he was just frustrated that, with everything that was going on with Cody, like, teaming with Roman Reigns. And then he sees Randy Orton trying to get in the way and trying to stop him, and like, from beating up this guy who he's justified in beating up. So he was just reacting out of anger and frustration, and it was just like that's why he had hit him. He elbowed him, and so it was understandable, because it was like Randy Orton, to him, he was just like, Randy Orton's trying to stop me from beating up this piece of shit. That was Kevin Owens' perspective. So that's why he had elbowed Randy Orton. But it was also understandable for then Randy Orton to defend himself and fight Kevin Owens back. And then it started a whole chicanery here now, because now, Kevin Owens ended up power driving Randy. And yeah, pretty much that's what ended up happening. So everything that happened to Randy Orton, as far as like everything, Kevin elbowing him and power driving him, like, obviously that was not okay. But it was understandable. Like, there was nothing that Kevin Owens, like, and like, sure, you could also argue that he had like, because I think Joe Tessitore, I think that was what his name was. Like, Kevin Owens was kind of being like a kind of a jerk to him, kind of being like just rude about it, because he was like, making it seem like Kevin Owens, Joe Tessitore was just being biased against him, and like, and we was rooting against him, and he was just kind of being a jerk about it. So I guess those are really the only two instances that I can think of where Kevin Owens was acting like an actual heel. But other than that, what did Kevin Owens really do wrong throughout this whole supposed heel turn? He was really more of like a tweener, or an anti-hero, or whatever you want to call it. He was more like a tweener, like a face tweener. He was more like on the face tweener side, right? That was what Kevin Owens really was. He was never just like this full-blown heel. Like, he never was. Like, people call him a justified heel, but a justified heel in my book is someone like Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan was someone who got betrayed by Rhea Ripley and, injured by Rhea Ripley. And then she came back and went on this whole revenge tour. And Liv was like doing all this crazy shit. Like she was like trash talking Becky, like just being a piece of shit. There was like instances like that. And also like, other times where like she was just even whenever she had like betrayed, well, not betrayed, but like kind of like, was using R-Truth, for her revenge plan. And she ended up fucking like, I think she hit him in the nuts or something like that. Because she was just using him the whole time to like for her revenge plan on Rhea Ripley or something like that. And so, yeah, like Liv Morgan was doing some heelish shit. She was more like a tweener at that time, but she was doing some really messed up things. And then after her official heel turn at SummerSlam, whenever her and Dominic ended up officially being in a relationship, that was when she fully started acting like a heel, because she was just full on just like insulting everyone left and right and attacking people for no reason or no good reason. So a justified heel is someone like Liv Morgan, not Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was not really a heel. He was justified in what he was doing, but he was not like a justified heel, because a justified heel is someone like Liv Morgan who understandably became a heel for good reasons, but at the same time, now they're acting, in ways that are just not okay. And I don't mean like just like a couple instances. I mean like just full on. Now they're just like a piece of shit now, like, because Liv Morgan literally had multiple instances where she's just attacking people for no good reason, or no reason at all, after she had turned heel. So Liv Morgan, she was the one, like, she's really like someone who you can consider justified. Kevin Owens he never really did anything that bad or anything wrong multiple times, let alone, like Kevin Owens, he only had like 2 instances where he's like, he did something bad, but it was at least understandable, he did, and so, yeah, Kevin Owens, he never really was like a full-on villain. He was more like a tweener. And the reason, like I said, the reason why I'm bringing all of this up is because Cody Rhodes, lately, he's been doing some heelish shit again. Over these past couple of months, look what's been going on. Drew McIntyre has been calling it out for months now. When Drew McIntyre had returned on June 30th of 2025, because he was injured in the steel cage match, and he had, well, actually he was injured before that, but like that was him losing to Damian Priest. Like that was his write-off, like that was pretty much them writing him off so he can take some time off and heal. So yeah, pretty much Drew McIntyre, he lost the cage match, and he came back a month later on June 30th, and he, since that moment when he returned, he's been calling Cody out for being a piece of shit. He was like, yo, Randy, like, Cody's a politician. He's talking about love and respect all the time to you, always just, pretending he cares about you, but in reality he doesn't. He's pretty much just a politician. Like he talks about your past relationship that you had together, and he'll give you one big hug and a knife right in your back, like something like that, right? And yeah, so Drew has been calling out Cody for being like a heel since then, since he had returned after Night of Champions. He was like, Randy, Cody, Drew was like, he was telling Randy that, Cody, he had attacked your your back, Randy, your injured back, you had tweaked it, and your surgically repaired back was like starting to tear again, and you had tweaked it. And and Cody Rhodes was taking advantage of that. He was viciously and brutally attacking your back, your surgically repaired back, with no remorse, with no care. And he's supposed to be your friend, and he did not give a damn. He just straight up took advantage of that. And Drew McIntyre made a good point on that. And he's Drew McIntyre has pretty much been calling Cody out for being a heel since then, since that moment. And Kevin Owens has obviously been doing it for a year now, since he had turned on Cody. So to me, I felt like Cody. I feel like Cody Rhodes. He's in a spot where it's like he keeps doing all these heelish things, but he tries to justify it, and and he's still presented as the clean cut baby face, the goody two shoes. But then there's times where he's just like doing these fucked up things, and the people who call him out for it are often portrayed as the villains with Cody Rhodes. And I just think that's interesting because like if they're really gonna plan on turning him heel, if this is really where they're setting this up, which I doubt it, but if they are, if there's a small possibility that they are, and if they do, I think this would be them recalling everything that Kevin Owens, like going back to everything, like once Cody turns heel, like let's say a Survivor Series, right? Cody Rhodes, he has a match with Damian Priest and Aleister Black or some shit in a triple threat, or he's just having, or maybe it's with Randy Orton, or something like that, or maybe it's like all four of them, like him, Aleister, Cody, Priest, all of them, like some, like, either a triple threat between them or a fatal four way, and let's just say Jacob Fatu, he comes back after his injury, and we see Jacob come out, and we're like, oh my gosh, Jacob has returned. And then the big surprise, he comes out, and he kind of like just stands there for a second, and we're just like, oh my gosh, we're taking it in. The camera zooms in on him, and then he immediately out of nowhere just attacks Cody Rhodes and strikes him just right then and there, no hesitation. And then that's when we realize, oh my gosh, Cody Rhodes is the one that attacked Jacob Fatu, and that'll be Cody Rhodes' official heel turn. And that's the way they can set it up. And then the following SmackDown after Survivor Series, Cody Rhodes can just admit everything right then and there and be like, yeah, I attacked Jacob Fatu. And Drew was right about me this whole time. I've been paying the referees. I'm a corporate sellout, and and I've been doing all these cheating tactics to win, and yeah, so Drew was right about me, and Kevin Owens was right about me. They were both right about me this whole time, and I fell for, I fell for me pretending to be the good guy for all these months. And so that's the way they can really set up this heel turn, and it'll be so good. Like if they really do that, if they set it up that way, like man, that would be awesome. And Cody can lose his title to like Randy Orton at Survivor Series. That would be cool. And and now it's like it sets up Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Like let's say Randy comes out and confronts Cody, and he's like, I'm the champion now, but you attacked Jacob Fatu. You're a bad guy now. Like, what has gone into you, Cody? And Cody Rhodes just like, it's just like not wanting to hear, and he immediately starts attacking Randy, and that sets up their feud. And yeah, like that, I think that would just be awesome, right? And it doesn't have to be for the title, because I don't want to see Cody in the title picture anymore. But at least let Randy be champion, right? I feel like that would be great, and that would be just a great way to set up their feud. Because I feel like making it be Randy Orton who attacked Jacob and having the heel turn be like that, it's just like, I don't know, man. I just feel like I wouldn't mind it. Like I felt like that would be better than like it being Solo or Drew McIntyre being the one to attack Jacob Fatu, or like just um yeah, like having like Solo and MFTs or Drew McIntyre being the ones to attack Jacob Fatu. I feel like that's just lazy writing. So obviously I'd rather it be Randy compared to them. But overall, I'd rather it just be Cody because he's the only really interesting one that can be set up for a heel turn here. Like Drew McIntyre is already kind of like already a heel. I mean, he's not a full on heel. He's more of like a tweener, but still, he's already like heelish. Um, and so it's like, why why would you have it be Drew McIntyre? It's just lazy writing. It's predictable. It's just stupid as fuck. You really got to make this unpredictable and like set up a heel turn here. Like that's the way you got to do it. Or else, why would you even do this murder mystery to begin with? It's just fucking lazy. It's boring. It's dumb. Like, and now that Drew McIntyre is gone, because he's not they did this whole suspension storyline. Um, I feel like that this whole Jacob Fatu thing, because even if they wanted to make it Drew McIntyre, I feel like now they can't because he's not gonna be here. He's gonna be filming his movie, so they have to make it someone else at this point. It's just fucking stupid if they were to try to even do that. If they try to do that to begin with, even if Drew was here, that would be dumb. But like definitely, if he's not here, it would be even more dumb because he's not fucking here. Why would you even like? It doesn't even make sense. Um, so I think again, what they should do is have it be Cody Rhodes because he's the only we've seen Randy be a heel multiple times. It would be cool. Obviously, it would be cool to see Randy be a heel again. Um, but I just feel like I don't know. I feel like Cody he hasn't been a heel in such a long time in WWE. I've never seen him be a heel in other wrestling companies because I don't watch any others. So as far as WWE goes, I've never seen him be a heel. So it's just something fresh and new, and more unpredictable compared to like Solo and the MFTs and Drew McIntyre, or Drew McIntyre. Like that's just stupid as fuck. So I think like I said, the way they set up this Cody heel turn is by pretty much having Jacob Fatu cost Cody the match at Survivor Series, and Randy Orton ends up winning, or maybe it could be after the match, either way, or in the middle of the match. Either way, it would just be cool to see, like, like, pretty much it revealed that, Cody is the one that attacked Jacob Fatu. Because we'll know at that point that it was Cody. If Jacob attacked, if Jacob comes back and attacks Cody, we'll know at that point that it was Cody. And so yeah, I mean, like, if you're gonna, because like and it gives more credibility to what Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre were saying about Cody this whole time, like, because obviously, like, Cody Rhodes, I've said this before, but like when it comes to Kevin Owens, his feud with Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre, he is the villain. He is the actual villain in these feuds. Like obviously he's a baby face overall. He's a goody two shoes. He's a he's like just a plain generic baby face overall. But when it comes to these feuds specifically with Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre, he's the heel here because look, like I said, he's the one that teamed with Roman Reigns, and people say, "Oh, but Cody Rhodes had no choice." He only teamed with Roman because Solo and his bloodline were attacking Cody for all these months, and they wouldn't have left him alone or whatever. Like, I mean, first, like Cody Rhodes was the one that said that he's not going to get involved with the bloodline business anymore, and then he inserts himself in it anyways. And like he's been fighting them for years now. So what makes you what would have made him think that teaming with Roman Reigns would have stopped it? Like what difference does it make? That doesn't even make any sense. Like, and that wasn't even Cody's reasoning for why he teamed with Roman. The reason he teamed with Roman is because Cody said he told Kevin Owens in that promo, like, "Oh, I thought it was the right thing." You know, like what? You thought it was the right thing to team with the guy who you've been fighting against for years, who made your life a living hell, and especially Kevin Owens' life, your friend, a living hell. You thought it was a good idea to team with him after you've been fighting against him for years and trying to take him out of power, and now you just team up with him months later because you see him as a good guy now for whatever reason. Like, why? That doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't make sense. So like, there's really no excuse. Like Cody was in the wrong for teaming with Roman Reigns. There was no excuse, and so Kevin Owens had every right to betray Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is the real villain when it comes to his feud with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens did nothing wrong when it was between them. Everything that happened between them, and then months later, Cody saves Roman Reigns from Kevin Owens. So I mean, it's like, I don't know. Like, what am I supposed to say at that point? I mean, like, it's just fucking stupid, Like, not only do you team with the guy, but then you help him, like you save him from the person who's rightfully attacking him. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just fucking stupid. Yeah, it's just dumb, and also, well, and also, what's it called? I forgot how. People like to say that, oh, because people, a lot of the Cody fans, they like to make excuses for everything Cody Rhodes does. They're like, because even with this Drew McIntyre stuff, I've talked about it in my last two videos about Drew McIntyre, about how these Cody Rhodes fans, not all of them, but like specifically the ones that I'm talking about here, like there's just certain Cody Rhodes fans that just, they defend everything this guy does. And because like, even when he does all this heelish shit, it's just like this guy is like still somehow the good guy in their eyes. Even like, yeah, he is overall, but like, let's not act like he's not acting like a piece of shit at times neither. Like, let's like, come on, man. Like, there's a lot of truth to what there's truth to everything Drew and Kevin are saying about him. And it's like, so, whenever like Drew McIntyre, he was like, he like I said, he's been calling out Cody Rhodes for being a piece of shit for months. Like, these Cody Rhodes fans were like going after Drew for whenever he had Claymored Cody through the announce table months ago, right? Yeah, I remember that, right? After the tag match with Logan Paul and John Cena, and Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes, like, after that match, there was a disqualification and the match was over, legally over. And Cody Rhodes still attacked Drew McIntyre after the match was already done. He ended up trying to put Drew McIntyre through the announce table and possibly injure him. And Drew McIntyre defended himself and put Cody Rhodes through the announce table. And Drew McIntyre literally said that the next week and explained why he did that. Because he literally said, I did it out of self-defense. He's the one that attacked me and tried to put me through the announce table. All I did was defend myself. That's all I did. I did nothing wrong. And so that was another heelish thing that Cody Rhodes did. But these Cody Rhodes fans were like, oh, Drew McIntyre is making excuses. He's making excuses. He's, he never takes accountability or whatever. And so, yeah, like, they were just trying to like justify Cody Rhodes of like, trying to put, like, not justify. Well, some of them were. Well, actually, the ones I saw, like, they weren't justifying it, but they just, I felt like they didn't, it's like they didn't hear. They obviously did hear it, but it's like they didn't hear the part where Drew McIntyre explained why he attacked Cody Rhodes and put him through the announce table. It's like they didn't hear that part because they were just acting like Drew McIntyre was still just somehow making excuses, even though he explained that why he attacked them and put him through the announce table. So it just made no sense. why these Cody Rhodes fans were acting like, Drew McIntyre just did this to, Cody Rhodes for no reason. It just made no sense. So like Drew McIntyre was just, he was just defending himself. And Cody Rhodes, he's the one that did it. He tried to put Drew McIntyre through the announce table. That was a heelish move. Cody Rhodes deserved what he got by getting, Claymore through the announce table. He's the one that attacked Drew McIntyre after the match was already over and tried to put Drew McIntyre through the announce table. What was Drew supposed to do? Just let it happen? Like, no. Like, he had every right to defend himself. So that's why whenever, Drew McIntyre, when he defended himself against Cody Rhodes, like, that was justified. And then, so that was another instance where Cody was acting like a heel. He acted like a heel in the Randy Orton match when he was at Night of Champions, when he was attacking his injured back, like, with no remorse, just doing whatever it takes to win against his own friend. It was crazy. And then, meanwhile, Randy Orton had remorse and didn't punt him. And, like Drew McIntyre, again, Cody Rhodes tried to put Drew through the announce table. Drew McIntyre defends himself through self-defense, and somehow he's the bad guy for doing that. It makes no sense. Why is he the bad guy? For defending himself? That makes no sense whatsoever, So, yeah, Drew just simply wanted to defend himself. And then the other heelish thing that Cody did was 3 weeks ago on SmackDown, he literally hit Drew McIntyre with the belt and caused a disqualification. He cheated, and somehow that was another heelish thing he did. And somehow Drew McIntyre, whenever he tries to cheat against Cody Rhodes, by hitting Cody with the title, all of a sudden he's the bad guy and he deserved to get out-cheated by Cody Rhodes and cheated again overall for the second time against Cody. Like, that makes no sense. Because, Cody fans are forgetting that, again, that Drew McIntyre was just simply trying to get revenge because Cody cheated against him first when he hit him with the title and caused a disqualification 3 weeks ago. I forgot that Cody did that. It seems like that's what it is. It seems like that's what it is because y'all are just making excuses saying that, oh, Drew deserved what he got because he brought the belt in the ring, got Saturday Night's Main Event, and he tried to cheat. Okay, but y'all forget that Cody cheated first against Drew McIntyre 3 weeks ago at SmackDown when he hit him in the face with the belt and caused a disqualification. Literally, it's like y'all just forgot about that. And so, like these Cody fans are they want to make excuses for Cody and justify all the cheating that he keeps doing against Drew McIntyre for this. Like, this is the second title match that he's used the belt on Drew McIntyre. This is the second time he's cheated against Drew McIntyre, and somehow Drew McIntyre is the bad guy. Somehow he's the bad guy in this Cody Rhodes feud. It just makes no sense. That's why when it comes to Cody Rhodes being this stale babyface and a stale character overall, I have a problem with it. But I also have a problem with Cody Rhodes acting heelish at times too, because not because he's acting different, it's because he's still presented as this full-on babyface. And whenever anyone tries to call him out, any of the wrestlers in WWE try to call him out on his BS, all of a sudden they're the bad guy. That's why I don't like. That's why even when he tries to act like a heel and act different, I have a problem with it too, because they still present him as a full-on face. So therefore, anyone who calls him out on his BS are somehow the bad guy. I just it's just annoying, It's stupid. Like, at least present him as a tweener or a full-on heel. But they don't do that. They don't do that. They don't do any of this. And so, Drew McIntyre, he tried to cheat against Cody with the belt because Cody cheated first. He cheated first. He hit him with Cody is the one that hit Drew with the belt 3 weeks ago and caused a disqualification. Then Drew McIntyre tries to do the same thing, and all of a sudden he's the bad guy. All of a sudden he deserved to get screwed over again by Cody Rhodes with the belt for the second time. Like, come on, man. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. You know, these Cody Rhodes fans want to say Drew McIntyre is making excuses, but they're the ones who are actually making excuses. You know, it makes no sense. So, yeah, Cody Rhodes, you know, he's been acting like a heel since he teamed with Roman Reigns, you know, and Kevin and Drew and even Seth Rollins call him out on his BS, because even Seth Rollins was like, "You team with Roman Reigns." Same with like pretty much the same thing. Kevin Owens had said, and you know Seth Rollins was right about Cody too. You know Cody teamed with Roman after everything Seth did to help him out at WrestleMania 40 to get the title. Seth put his body on the lines and his title on the line pretty much, you know, to help Cody win that title, only for Cody to team with Roman Reigns a month later. So, you know, Seth Rollins had every right to not be friends with Cody Rhodes anymore after that, you know, like literally, you know. So yeah, Cody Rhodes he's been acting like a villain, and he's being called out by everyone. Pretty much everyone's just calling him a phony, and he's still being presented as this full-on face, and everyone who calls him out on his BS are always the bad guys. Like literally everyone. Kevin Owens, even Cena. I mean, I understand with Cena, it was like kind of different because he sold his soul to The Rock. But like even in that situation, just overall, he was being presented as the heel against Cody Rhodes, which I get it. You know, I get it in this case scenario that Cody was technically the face still. At least in this feud, he was the face and John Cena was the heel because of the way Cena was acting and the way Cody was acting the whole time in the feud. So in that feud, I can say, yeah, Cody was the face, Cena was the heel for, like, obviously. But what I'm saying is everyone who calls him out on his BS are always the heels, whether that be intentionally or just simply because they are the heels, you know, just in general. But, you know, just like even Gunther and Chad Gable, they were heels and they were calling Cody fake and a fake friend and a phony. Becky Lynch, she called Cody a phony, and she's a heel. Like literally everyone who calls Cody out on his BS are all heels. And but the only time that's been intentional was with Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and Kevin Owens, obviously. Everyone else was just like, they were just simply heels calling him out on his BS. But you get my point, though, is that everyone who calls him out on his BS are presented as the bad guys, just in general. And he's like this angel, this good guy, you know, he could do no wrong. Like, nah, bro. We've seen all the bad shit he's done throughout all this for a year now. Since teaming with Roman, he's really been going off the deep end here now. You know? Like, he literally dropped Kevin Owens' head on the ladder at the Royal Rumble. Like, straight up just, like, brutalized this dude. And why? Because he hates you for good reasons? Because you team with Roman to begin with? I don't know. It's just stupid. And people like to say, "Oh, but Kevin Owens, he's the one that betrayed. He betrayed multiple people. He's done bad things too. You know why does he have any right to hate Roman Reigns and hate Cody Rhodes for teaming with Roman when he's done bad things too? You know, Kevin, he betrayed all these people, bro. I feel like y'all forget the fact that Kevin Owens has apologized for all the people he's betrayed. He's been done that, you know. Like, he's been apologized for all the people that he's betrayed. He's apologized for that stuff before. And so it's not like Kevin Owens never changed, you know. It's not like he never had any character growth. He did. You know, he's acknowledged all the people he's betrayed, and you know how he was wrong for, you know, for the stuff that he's done in the past, for all the betrayals that he's done. and he became a better person. He's acknowledged that multiple times throughout the years. Even with Seth's betrayal towards Roman, he's done the same thing. These people like to bring that up too. They're like, oh, you know, Seth betrayed Roman. He has no right to hate Roman because he's done bad things too. He's the one that betrayed Seth. I mean, Seth is the one that betrayed Roman to begin with. Like that's what a lot of people say too. And it's just strange to me how, no one was saying these things for all these years up until last year, whenever Roman Reigns had to return after SummerSlam, and Seth Drew and Kevin Owens were calling Roman out for being the villain still. And all of a sudden, everyone is just like, now all of a sudden, these fans want to bring up the fact that Seth had betrayed them, and Kevin's betrayal towards other people. Like these Roman fans and fans in general only brought that up once Roman Reigns had a return last year at SummerSlam, and Kevin and Seth were calling Roman out for being a villain. That's whenever these fans were started saying these things about Kevin and Seth, and it just makes no sense. Like, why didn't I say that for any of these other years? Why didn't I call? Why didn't like Roman like like Seth has been brutalized by other heels for years now. And y'all didn't say, oh, he deserved it because he betrayed Roman. Y'all didn't say that. Y'all didn't say, or even at WrestleMania 40 when he was helping Cody against The Rock and Roman Reigns and his bloodline. Y'all didn't say, oh, why is Seth treating Roman like the bad guy and trying to stop him when he's the one that betrayed him. Y'all didn't say anything there either. Nor did y'all say anything for all these years when the Roman and the Bloodline were attacking Kevin Owens. Y'all didn't say, oh, Kevin Owens deserved it. Why is he complaining about Roman and the Bloodline being evil and going against them if he's the one that betrayed so many people throughout the years? Y'all didn't say anything about Seth and Kevin being a terrible person in the past with all their betrayals. Y'all didn't mention any of this for all these years up until last year when Kevin and Seth were calling out Roman Reigns for being a terrible person still after he had returned at SummerSlam. That's when y'all started, talking about Kevin and Seth's past of their betrayals. Like, it just makes no sense. It's just like y'all are just trying to defend Roman Reigns, and because I don't know, y'all are fans. Y'all were so excited when he returned after SummerSlam last year. I don't know. Like, it's just like, or I don't know. I guess, like, a large part of it, obviously, was just like bias, but I think some of it was also just like some fans. I think it was like, some fans were biased against Roman, for Roman. So obviously they were, because they were so excited after he had came back after WrestleMania 40. So when he returned at SummerSlam, they just were rooting for him. And anyone that had anything negative to say, they just kind of blocked it out or whatever, or went against them. And then there was other just people who just simply, I don't know, for some reason, only wanted to bring up Seth and Kevin's past of betrayals. Once Roman Reigns had returned after SummerSlam last year. So I don't know. It's just like, but I think a large part of it though was just like Roman Reigns fans that just they loved him now even more after he had came back after SummerSlam last year. So they just didn't really like that, people like Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins were calling him out and going against him because he was so loved after he had returned at SummerSlam. So, that's really that's really a large part of it, because no one was bringing up Seth's past of betraying Roman. Or Kevin Owens' past of betraying people up until last year, when Roman Reigns had returned.